when the Prime Minister would say that the impact situation ought to have been resolved totally by my administration when we were in government for 5 years, is blatantly lying. Because if he genuinely understood the implications and what caused impacts, and what impacts was, and what the potential solution to impacts is, he would never make those statements.
Leader of the opposition, Alain Chasny, has criticized the ruling administration for what the opposition claims is its apparent silence on the Impacs report.
If there's one thing that the Prime Minister said that is correct, is that he's alluded to the fact that the source of a lot of the problems we have today stems from Operation Restore Confidence, Impacts, and the Leahy Law, and how we as a country have dealt with those issues.
The controversial report stemmed from the 2014 Impacts review of investigations into alleged extrajudicial killings that occurred between 2010 and 2011 involving members of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force as part of Operation Restore Confidence during a period of heightened criminality in St. Lucia.
We forget that when we had Operation Restore Confidence, how bad the crime situation was in St. Lucia. We forget. We forget the innocent children that were shot in Crossfire. We forget that people were sleeping underneath their beds at night in fear. We forget that an assassin went into the Prime Minister's constituency office, Stephenson King's constituency office, and shot and killed somebody in his waiting room. We forget the feeling of helplessness and the state of fear that was in our country.
The fallout from the 2011 police-led Operation Restore Confidence during the 2006-2011 UWP administration resulted in the U.S.-imposed Leahy Law later in 2013, which restricted U.S. funding and training for the police force in St. Lucia due to alleged gross violations of human rights. The Impacts probe was initiated by the Anthony administration after U.S. officials questioned the findings of local court hearings and inquests.
And sadly for Operation Restore Confidence, it attempted to do something that had never been done in St. Lucia before, because we were fighting a different enemy. We were fighting organized crime, gangs, that were in some cases better equipped than the police themselves, and that they had intelligence on the police. That's not to say that Operation Restore Confidence did not have its fair share of problems. I'm just speaking to the state that we were in and the level of desperation that existed to resolve the problem. And here we are, 14, 15 years later, finding ourselves exactly back where we started.
Chasny is demanding accountability from the National Security Minister and Prime Minister to expedite the process and provide the Director of Public Prosecutions, Nasrian Green, with the necessary resources to bring a solid conclusion to the ORC Impacts report.
But until we can restore confidence back into the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, until we can restore confidence back into our judicial system, sadly, my fellow St. Lucians, we believe that the spate of crime is going to continue.
Prime Minister Pierre, who has pledged to conclude these matters, clarified that given the separation of powers, it would be highly inappropriate for the head of the executive branch to publicly discuss sensitive details of investigative cases before the courts under the independent constitutional office of the DPP. However, material support will be provided to law enforcement and the courts. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.